Trish and Rob McGregor welcome you to a place where all kinds of phenomena flourish. Here we meet authors, researchers, and investigators of the mysterious, the strange, and of the inexplicable anomalies that surround us. Step out of the everyday world and take a journey into the mystical underground.
And if you guys are ready, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Mystical Underground. Thank you for joining us. This is Rob McGregor and our producer and tech magician, John Posey. You can go to themysticalunderground.com where we make regular blog posts and where you can find out about our books. Among them are The 7 Secrets of Synchronicity, Sensing the Future, The Secrets of Spirit Communication, and Aliens in the Backyard. Our latest book is called Mind-Blowing Synchronicities, the latest science, stories, and research. Trish's latest novel, Silent Thunder, and Rob's most recent novel is called Tulpas, a story of mysterious beings created through deep meditation. If you are watching us on YouTube, we would appreciate it if you would take a second to click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons so you never miss an episode. If you prefer to listen to the show, it is available wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe there.
Our guest today is Chris Berryman, who's an actor, director, and producer with his company, the Detroit Theater Collective. Chris also channels messages from a multidimensional collective known as the Orion Contingent. They describe themselves as explorers from near the Orion and Sirius constellations, not invaders, but collaborators, helping humanity evolve towards galactic citizenship. His latest related book, just published this month, is called The N1 Sessions. Welcome, Chris. It's great to finally get you.
Hey, Trish. Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great.
Okay, a good place to start here is, first, tell us who the N1 is in -1.
Sure. So N1 is when I first started having these experiences, I ended up sort of confronting the source that was behind these sensory experiences, and what I heard back was, "You can call me N1." And N1, I've come to learn through these sessions and also through the material that is in the upcoming book, the N1 Sessions. N1 is the leader of a collective who I've come to call the Orion Contingent. And they're a mixture of beings from different places. They live mostly in a non-physical realm, but they also have the ability to sort of move down into more dense form. And they're explorers. They're sort of like cosmic monks. And N1, he's their leader, in a nutshell.
So what happened? How did this come about? How did you become a channeler?
Well, it happened. It started. I'm going back to like fall 2019, and I started having these interesting visions that I would see it during the day. I would see it in particular at night before I was going to sleep, when I would be lying in bed. And it was geometry. It was interesting geometry. It was interesting looking machinery that I'd never seen before. To make a long story short, I ended up eventually seeing craft, or what looked like flying saucers, and light particles, and portals opening up. And then I started seeing eyes, different types of eyes. Some of them looked human, some of them did not look human. And then I started seeing faces. So around that time, that's how it came about. That's kind of how it started, I guess you'd say.
Well, have you seen these beings physically? I know you have a picture of one in your book.
Yeah, I've seen them only. If you were to close your eyes right now, there's sort of like a movie screen. That's where I see them. I do not.
Okay.
I have never had a face-to-face meeting with any of these beings, nor do I think I probably won't for a very long time.
Yeah, but didn't you have one out-of-body experience where you went into a craft?
Yeah. So that was the next step. I one of the thing the story I just told led right up to that. And so it was one night, this was maybe at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm going to say early spring 2020. And I was laying in bed. There was a lamp on next to my bed. I just had gone down and laid down. The light was still on. I had closed my eyes. I was completely awake. No alcohol, no mushrooms, nothing like that. And
no DMT, huh?
And so I felt this like upward pull, and it started like speeding up. And I was like, okay, something's happening. Let's just try to relax and go with this and see what happens here. And I ended up seeing a window and a control panel, and through the window I could see a desert landscape. And felt like I was just bombarded with energy. I've said this before, but like I was having 5 Reiki sessions all at the same time. And then I saw on the panel, I saw hands, perhaps non-human hands. And I saw other things too. And the experience was very high. It was like I was journeying, like I was traveling. I ended up hearing this music, like very soothing, positive music, very inspiring. And so that journey, that voyage, that was the foundation for my first book, which is a middle grade, ages 10 and up, sci-fi, an illustrated storybook called Flying Saucer Visions. But and N1 is in that too, actually. But so that's how it started. And then the N1 Sessions, the upcoming book, is sort of a deeper continuing conversation with the collective and with N1.
Did you get freaked out at any point by all this stuff?
Oh, especially when it was initially when it was happening. I was scared. I was freaked out. I was trying not to panic, but it didn't feel it was present. And when I was able to just relax, I had a teacher tell me, like, don't be scared, just relax. And when I was able to do that, they actually, the experience had not only intensified, but then a deeper communication could happen. And I felt respected. I've felt respected the whole time, actually.
Do you hear a voice, or do you just
Well, at first it was sort of like I heard a voice in a two-way conversation that was and I do have some training in this type of thing, like I guess you'd say psychic work, angel communication, healing, things like that, energy healing. And but then it came to a point where I was able to let them speak through me and also write through me. And that's kind of the way it happens now.
Did you record it?
When I started doing the speaking technique, I would record it on my phone, and then I would transcribe it. Yeah. And then at other times it's been, especially if I have specific questions, it kind of comes through with like automatic writing. Yeah.
Have you ever read the Seth material or any books by Robert?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jane. Yeah. I've only read the Eternal Validity of the Soul. I think that I've read some of that one. Yeah, I haven't gone. I'd like to read more of her stuff. Yeah, of Seth's stuff. Yeah.
It's too bad we lost her.
Oh yeah, so young, so young. She was so talented.
Yeah, she really was.
So this began like 5 years ago. Then 2021.
2020.
2020. Okay.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah. The first book was published in 2021, but I guess it's been 6 years now. Isn't that insane? It seems like it hasn't been that long, but it has. Yeah.
Is it still going on, or did it stop at some point? Or?
No, I was just doing it earlier today, and
okay.
It's still going on, and it's sort of, I have sort of an agreement. It feels like I do it in cycles. I tend to do it like moon cycles or equinoxes, solstices, like things, a day that's like a special day. And just that way I don't get too burned out with it. I can do it sort of in my own schedule.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, go ahead, Rob.
So what do they think's going on now? About what do they think about what's going on now in the world?
Well, they are saying you need to realize that there are many forces in other dimensions influencing what's going on right now. But they don't seem too freaked out about it. I think it almost feels like they are not surprised at how things are playing out. They are concerned, but they don't seem. I think one of the messages from in the N1 sessions is just like, we still have time, brothers and sisters, and we have time. No need to panic, and no one's going to save you at the same time. But we got some things we need to work through, like just to. And you're not, and also one of the main messages is also that we are not alone in this universe either.
And they're
comforting.
Yeah,
yeah.
So these entities, you consider them to be positive, but there are also influences that are on the dark side as well, correct?
Yes, definitely. And that is discussed in the N1 sessions as well. That at the beginning of the book, there is something said that, like, you don't need to fear what they sort of call the malevolent forces or the dark side. There are different names, there are different groups, I think, involved in that. And that just to be aware of what is happening, and that we can come together and work through this is the message. But definitely, there's definitely descriptions of these forces, how they affect us through things like digital technology and other means as well. Yes.
Well, Chris, in your daily life, do you ever have them say, "Oh, don't do that," or "Do this instead"? In other words, do you ever feel?
It has happened. It has happened, but I tend to rely more on those decisions, on my guidance, I guess you could say, guardian angel spirit guys, because I've been trained to work with that phenomena for some time. That's my first source that I go to. What this contingent wants to share, they're a civilization. They're not guides. Mm-hmm. They are living out, even though it's a different kind of existence. They are just a group who has been involved residually with our planet, and they're still concerned, and there's some wisdom they want to share right now. That's sort of to me, it's a very specific teaching, and it has a lot to do with the human energy body as well.
Do they still have a home planet?
How it's described in the material, that their existence is mostly non-physical, but there is a small planet when they move down into the physical that is between the stars Safe and Sirius A. That there's a small, that they almost like that they use as a physical base when they need it. That's the way it's described to me in the N1 session.
How big is their civilization? I mean,
well, there's a core group. It's they said that there are 37 as the core group, but it's almost like there are many affiliates. It's almost like it almost seems like this is a collective. They're almost like a school that many beings want to involve themselves, maybe study with, kind of right. Train with, because they're very focused on philosophy and cosmic philosophy and esoteric matters, sort of abilities and technologies to transcend is what it feels like. Yeah.
So they're not involved in creating new worlds or new civilizations.
Not so much. They specifically say we have not been involved in the seeding of other worlds like some other races, like perhaps the Syrians and the Pleiadians have. But that they support those groups in the ones who have gone about it in a conscientious manner, as opposed to a self-centered manner.
They don't see the Earth blowing up, do they?
I have not received that information.
Okay, that's good.
I have not been told that yet. So knock on wood.
Yeah. Have they materialized physically on this planet?
That's what I asked him.
They describe the process that occasionally that happens. It sounds like on the occasions that they've been here, they're mostly able to just move down real quick, do what they want to do. They're very interested in light particles near power zones such as the pyramids or Stonehenge or things like that. They could to open portals of higher communication is how they describe it, and they say eventually that they're hoping that this will help us as well. But when they say that when they move down, their bodies will become, I don't have a complete understanding of this. This is as close as I can sort of describe it, that they have the ability to move down into form, but it's still because of their origins, it's not still physical like our bodies are. Yeah.
But they say that there are others that have come down here physically and are among us, correct?
They have not said that. Yes, I guess if you're talking about the Greys, I guess perhaps yes, that does happen. But I'm also not 100% convinced that even that their bodies are physical like ours are. But again, it might be a more of a moving down into form, because they also their races exist in higher dimensions as well. This is really me speculating. I can't prove anything I'm talking about right now, but this is what I'm told in the N1 sessions, and I'm beginning to wrap my mind around it. Yeah.
Do they think we
pets? I don't know if they have pets.
Probably. I think so. Yeah. I think probably there's other critters, Orion critters,
Do they think that we should trust the Greys, or are they suspicious of them? Skeptical.
There's a chapter in the N1 sessions that goes briefly into those races, and that describes that they are a divided group. That there are some that are that most of them are trustworthy, but there is a group that works with some of the more malevolent forces as well. Yeah. So you have to be, I guess this is I think we're moving into a time where it's not going to be black and white, and we really have to exercise some discernment. We're going to have to really move, it's going to be more nuanced. So we gotta put our big kid pants on.
Uh-oh.
So in the world of exploring UFOs, aliens, the reptilians are always considered the bad guys. Do they agree with that, or are they not all bad?
They are not all bad. And that there are actually some reptilians among this collective, a small minority, but there are some reptilians that have either moved to the light, or there is a whole race of reptilians and amphibians that are native to this galaxy that have always been had good intentions, but they get sort of overshadowed perhaps by the reptilians who have the colonizers and the real estate brokers of different worlds, that they have not done haven't behaved so admirably through the eons.
How long is their lifespan?
Much longer than ours. And it can go on. It sounds like it can go on indefinitely if they move more into a group consciousness, a non-physical world. It kind of reminds me of the way it's described in the N1 sessions, like sort of like Yoda. Even though he dies, but like perhaps they can move back and forth from those two. How they're at the end of the movie, they're standing there as all like ghosts, kind of, and everything. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what it sounds like to me, to be honest.
What kind of structure? I mean, do they have families? Do they have what?
They say that they are not. It's more of a communal experience, is what it sounds like. And that there are families. And one talks about his parents' souls, that he was originally from the Sirius constellation. So there are families. I think they're just different. They're set up differently from our families.
How do they procreate?
I haven't gotten into that. I haven't had the courage to ask that. That's bad. Well, I mean, it might be like they might have the option because some of them are human. Some of them, maybe a little different than us, but like galactic human might not be terribly different if they're, in a physical realm. But they also might have the possibility of being able to co-create or procreate with intention as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of their work is in higher realms that they can use things like sacred geometry and intention to create in higher realms, and then they can move it down into worlds like ours. Whereas we are kind of learning how to do the opposite. We're kind of learning how to visualize and manifest, bring things into reality. But since we're in the physical, we can work up into the non-physical, and then maybe it can spiral back again. This is all, this is sort of me still putting it all together, but this is what I'm told in the N1 sessions.
Chris, how's this changed your life? I mean, do your friends look at you strangely? I mean, does your family go, "Hey, who's this guy in our family?"
Probably. I am careful about who I bring this up to. I don't talk about this openly, just whatever. But a lot of friends have read the book. They're intrigued by it. They're open to it. The thing about anything connected with this conversation is that it can be, some people just are terrified. Yeah. And I have some friends who obviously they don't want to, I'm not going to bring it up because they're scared. They freak out. They're like, "Are you sure this is happening?" Almost like they don't want to hear more about it. They want me to confess that I'm a charlatan or something. And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry. I really do have these experiences." But I think a lot of people are very scared, but it's exciting that we're getting to a point where we can have, there's more and more conversations like this, where I think even 20 years ago, it was more shut down, and you were, because of the fear, because of the misunderstanding that, it was easy to label someone a loon. But now I think there's just so much experience and so many testimonials of sightings and things like that, that it's just, we can't deny it anymore.
Yeah.
That something's going on.
They said in the book that Earth was blockaded from the galactic community, or for not generations, thousands of years. What was that about?
Oh, yeah, sort of a quarantine. It's described in the N1 sessions. And well, at some point, and I'm still wrapping my mind around when this happened, something seemed to happen. But let me rewind a little bit. So if we look at the stories and the traditional lore stories, myths of the indigenous tribes, many different tribes, there's a lot of descriptions of star ancestors. And there are beings described like the shining ones up in there's that there are whole cultures of advanced beings. There are myths about Hyperborea or whatever. There many stories about different advanced beings or gods and goddesses out there. So in the N1 sessions, it's described that those beings were our teachers at one time, a long time ago. But something happened. Maybe around the Bronze Age, something shifted, and then you just didn't hear about that anymore. So it's described that different groups of beings who maybe didn't have the highest intentions, that perhaps rewired our species or recolonized, started messing with our world, that moved in. And because of that, if there are higher forces in the universe, if there are sort of United Nations of the universe or galactic councils or whatever, that they said, okay, don't mess with this race. They're evolving. They've been sort of invaded by these other beings. Just leave them alone. Right? No, everyone just leave them alone and let them evolve on their own and exercise their free will. So that's the quarantine that's described in the N1 sessions. But there's also the message that it's slowly being removed now.
Right. Some have described it as that this group that came in, whoever they are, affected our genes. And they were able to block us from the ability to advance on our own, to become part of the galactic whatever, because they wanted to control us. It'd be easier to control us by keeping us down, so to speak.
Yeah, it feels to me that there's something to that. Yes. And that we're now, because of awakening, because of a lot of support that's been going on, particularly, I think, since after World War II, that, that we've been bombarded by a lot of higher beings, some of which perhaps have incarnated here, and that this is breaking up now. It's like we're chipping away at that matrix, or whatever you want to call it.
Chris, what month are you born at? What sign are you?
Me? January, Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about people who channel what sign they are.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I might be a mixed bag, and the channeling that I do is it's not like full body channeling where like you vacate and like being just takes you over. It's more light trance and more clairaudient, like it's coming through like a in waves. And then I'm able to speak it or write it or record it. Yeah. So my technique might be a little bit different from other folks.
Why did you organize your book in seasons? I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, that the topic of seasonality and respecting the changing of seasons was so present in the material that it just felt, and also that I was doing it in cycles, like in moon cycles and everything. It just felt obvious to present it that way. And during COVID, during sort of the lockdown periods, it was I was able to stop and sort of observe nature a little bit more, to observe, take walks and just take it all in a little more. So it was definitely affecting me. But I think the source wanted it that way, and helped me to put it together, and I think it makes it more digestible as well. Yeah. I think this material, it might seem simple on the source. I think it's totally it's not like I don't think you need to know a lot about this topic before you read this book. It's sort of written for the general reader, maybe people who have more of an interest in this phenomena, but it's there's something, it's not as simple perhaps as it appears, and I think it's good that you read it slowly to let it kind of drop in, and there might be more there than meets the eye.
Chris, what's your background? What did you used to do?
Well, and I still do the things that I've done for a long time. I have a background in theater and film.
Yeah. Okay. So. And
I spent time in New York and Los Angeles, and I also write screenplays. Okay. It's a day job. I work at a medical school, and so yeah, I still have all that going on.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
teaching them how to channel.
No, we don't. I don't bring up this stuff too much to potential doctors, but I think some of them might find it interesting.
Yeah, they might.
I think there's more and more people taking an interest.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, especially with all the revelations that have come out, with the New York Times writing about it on page 1 on the Sunday a couple 2-3 years ago. Yeah. So, what's the overall message from this source for us?
Definitely the things we were talking about earlier about there's time, breathe, tune into what's going on. Don't be afraid to speak out about what you're experiencing and what you're seeing and what you really think is going on. And at one point, N1 kind of just says very emphatically, take ownership of your space heritage. That as a species, ultimately, we're from the stars. And so to know that and to start being open to that, to being open to deeper experiences connected with that. I think that's an important message in the N1 sessions. Yeah.
How do these beings experience death, or do they? I mean,
if they do, there is that they could be killed. This is possible, but there's almost, I think they have, and this is from the descriptions, the way they talk about life cycles, they have a different relationship to dying, coming back,
right,
and the spirit, the different worlds. So I think that many of these beings that are in this collective right now have been in the lives that they're living for some time now. But I think they have the choice to leave and recreate themselves as well. Yeah.
They seem to, they are spiritual oriented beings, and they
talk louder.
Okay. They talk about source energy, but I have the feeling they don't have any kind of religion. That would,
it's not dogma, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah.
But they do have a certain, they're interested in certain things, and it seems like they're interested in the place where science and spirit meets.
So
to put it in simple terms, philosophy and astrophysics and magic, that what we might call magic, or it's even though they see the scientific side of things, alchemy. They're very interested in a cosmic alchemy, and that some of their techniques is described in the N1 sessions. And they also give in the appendix, there are 10 exercises. They've also given us some exercises that we can use in our current place here to start working with some of these alchemical, magical techniques.
I'm interested in looking. Yeah, I'm interested in looking at those exercises. I didn't have a chance yet. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So if they would provide us, what do they say about AI?
AI is a concern. They talk about, right now we have to be really careful with the rash decisions that are sort of being made surrounding AI and how we're using it. That the decisions made right now could snowball and affect us in the future very, very much. But they are not anti-artificial intelligence. They've described in some of the more recent sessions, they've described how there'll come a time when our AI could be more like a consciousness itself. So we have to respect it almost like it's a primitive being. Even though the AI we have now does not have a consciousness. But eventually they've seen worlds. I think they've seen worlds rise and fall, maybe that have been taken down by AI as well.
But some of these beings from different sources apparently are a combination of biological beings and robotic. For example, the ones that are able to come here in these crafts that can make incredible turns at enormous speeds that would destroy a human being.
Yes, and that the grays that they have, well, the grays are a combination of what I guess you'd say biological consciousness and machinery at the same time. Not all of them, though. And that some of the crafts are also a combination of machinery and consciousness.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think supposedly the so-called crashes, I think the beings that they given up are probably the robotic type beings. I mean, I'm just guessing that, but
that certainly could have. That certainly makes sense when you think about it. I can't say for sure. I don't, like whatever happened. Yeah. And as far as this disclosure, this idea about disclosure as well,
Right.
feels like it's almost already happened. But I guess the governments might know some things, like about things that happen in New Mexico or other places that they could cough up. But that's certainly, when you think about it, that makes sense that they would, if they're coming this close and there are dangers, that they would send the robots and not their
Right.
not their,
It doesn't really make much sense.
hard hitters.
They would come, 300 light years away and then come here and crash,
Right.
without it being intentional.
Unless they're just renegades, who know how to, to die and come back really quick or something. But yeah, that when I think about it, that certainly makes sense.
Yeah.
Chris, have any government people approached you?
Not yet. I was thinking you must be psychic, Trish, because I was thinking about that today. I was like, what if they did? I think anyone we're looking at it right now probably just thinks I'm a new age flake, but so I'll keep it at that. I don't want the governments to talk to me, but we'll see what happens. I'll report back if
Okay.
the men in black
Some other
show up.
people, who've had trouble with government people.
Yeah, my book hasn't even been released yet. It's not released till
okay.
February 10th, so we'll see.
But watch out.
Really, so what can you share about the people who have had trouble?
One of
with
them
the
was
government?
Whitley Strieber,
Really?
who wrote Communion. I mean, he's had some trouble.
Yeah, and he said like some of the he's had abduction experiences that have not been aliens, but been military
Human.
people. Yeah,
Right. Kidnapping.
yeah, kidnapping.
Yeah, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So Betty
Some-
Hill, we spent a weekend with her in 1987, I think it was, and she had a lot of trouble with government people too.
Who's that?
Betty Hill.
Betty Hill.
Barney,
yeah, Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, and they have tried to discredit them
Yeah.
so much. They have
Yeah.
tried to say that they were charlatans, that they were crazy. They have tried to really rake them over the coals.
Yeah.
And they were the first to talk about the Zeta Reticulans, the great, so that's noteworthy.
But
Now, towards the end of
some
her
of the
life,
first-
Betty may have been a little bit worn out when we met her, but she was, when she talked about what happened to them, it was scary. Just
Yeah.
hearing somebody talk about it,
Yeah. Because that was I also feel that I did not the reason why all of this happened, I did not seek it on any level. They came to me and they would not leave me alone. Mine were just more energetic as opposed to my car being put in lights and out in the woods, someplace like that. I didn't have anything like that, thank God. But yeah, that must have been terrifying.
Yeah, I think it was horrifying.
So,
Yeah.
what about for you now? The question I'm sure that you hear a lot is, why you? Why did they come to you?
Okay, and I get asked this, yeah. And okay, a few things. The first thing, and I really think this is undeniable, was that I was available. that I don't have any kids. I live alone. It didn't, even though I would check on my mom was in her 80s at the time when COVID started. I would check in on her and I would go on walks with friends or, meet outdoors and everything. But I was available. I had time on my hands. I also had some training in being able to communicate with other dimensions. That might have been part of it. Also, that I work in sort of artistic fields.
Right.
Maybe they knew I would want to turn this into something, turn this connection, this conversation into something. And there's also the possibility that I have from some existence somewhere I signed up for something, or I have some connection to this collective, but I don't have any proof of that.
Yeah.
Well, we never do, but
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think that's highly possible as well.
So N1 says that, talking about UFO sightings, that about 27% of them are actually from the military, and UFOs that might be seen that
yeah, the 27%, that's I'm sorry, that figure is that they're terrestrial, military, or maybe some other, private sector or something like that, conducting some experiments, defense experiments, etc. And but that that they say that, and one says in that chapter, he says that anything higher than that, we would have quite the Keystone Cop show. If they tried to make all sorts of things happen, it would be like, a bad episode of the Brady Bunch or something.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So the 73 are actual from elsewhere, then.
From other worlds.
Right.
Some of them might be physical, and some of them might be holographic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, okay. Where do you think the United States is headed? Are we evolving or are we devolving?
I think we're going through some very strange growing pains, is what it feels like to me. Feels like devolving, but maybe this is just things have to be shaken up before some real change can happen. Because with our party system, it just seems like it's so locked.
Yeah.
That it's hard for any change to really happen. So it's scary times we're living in. It certainly concerns me, but
the institutions are crashing, one after
crumbling, right? Yeah.
Even
all sorts
cultural
of
institutions,
Absolutely.
The Kennedy Center is closing, and he may demolish the building.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'm hoping we're learning a lot from all of this, and that, to step back and see, okay, well, even though some of these institutions are crumbling, what do we really want to create? What do we really what do we want our society for the betterment of all?
Right.
What do we want it to consist of? Yeah. And I think these beings are sort of pushing us to think in a bigger picture like that too.
Well, it's interesting. There's a conjunction coming up February 20th between Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and it'll be at 0 degrees 45 minutes. That hasn't happened since 1703.
Wow.
Saturn represents structure. Neptune dissolves structures. So I'm wondering, when you think of it like that, it seems that that's already starting to happen.
Absolutely. If it does, it feels like there are that we're going through this I'm a fallen Catholic, so Stations of the Cross. Stations of the Cross is what it feels like right now, until some sort of bigger transfiguration can happen. But what is the date of that?
February 20th.
February 20th. Okay.
That's when it's exact.
And moving into Pisces too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except that they're both going to be in Aries. It's 0 degrees.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be, and also, Neptune represents the kind of stuff you're talking about, psychic stuff and unusual anomalies, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the hidden, the esoteric, the hidden, right? Yeah. Exciting. I think that's very exciting.
See what happens?
Yeah.
I've told every Aries I know, let me know what happens.
Yeah. You go Aries. Yeah. Capricorn, not always the warmest relationship with Aries, but I'll let those Aries walk into the fire before I do. I do have some Aries friends though who I like very much.
Well, maybe you just mention that to them and see what they experience. That'll be.
I will. I will. That's a good idea. Yeah.
So, since this is a channeled book, was it easy to write? Or
it was the process. The hardest part for me was writing the preface. The other part, it was laborious, like the process of channeling it, and then because there's a difference between spoken English and in written English, So and then transcribing it, and putting it into prose, and just I had to remove some of some repetition and some some phrasing and everything like that. But I wanted to make sure the core was there. I didn't want to take anything out. So in that it came that it's presented, how I received it. That was very important to me as well.
I think it's interesting that Simon and Schuster published it.
Well, they're distributing it. Yeah. I don't know how that works. Yeah. They're distributing it. I think they have the publisher is 6 books, and they are actually a small publishing house in England. But I think they have I think a lot of these smaller they have a distribution deal with Simon and Schuster, I think. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, good. Your book will get out there more.
Right.
So before the channeling started, did you ever have any UFO experiences or alien contact? Anything
No,
like that?
nothing like that. I had other experiences with psychic experiences, receiving messages, but that was something I had sort of trained in. So I had experiences that were, that went along, serendipity, things lining up that happened and everything. But I had never, I believe I was interested in a little bit in UFOs and aliens. I wasn't like some tinfoil person, though, and by any stretch of the imagination. I was not like that at all. And God bless those people. But that was I hadn't had any before 2000. I'm coming to think about it, like some of these visions, especially the geometric ones, probably started in 2018, but I didn't really know what was happening then. So before then, no.
Well, so what were these like? I mean, what were they intended to show you? The geometric things.
Well, first it was, I think it seemed that it was related to craft, a lot of it. And in my first book, you can actually see the illustrated story of Christian and his journey. You can see some of these visions because it's what he's experiences. So they're the visions in that book that are illustrated beautifully by an illustrator she's a Chinese illustrator from Canada. Are my visions. So in Flying Saucer Visions, it was there, but it seemed like it was geometric portals and then spacecraft is what it seemed like it was initially. Other things too, but some of it I don't know what it was, and I'm still collecting these visions. I just had a new one the other night that was sort of like, so it's not either. This was different. It was like a large crimson orb that was kind of marbled, and there was energy coming in and out of it, and then something that looked like a top that had lights on, moving down, that was spinning slowly, but that looked like some kind of that looked like some kind of craft to me. That second one, the crimson orb, I don't know what that was.
Are the myths?
I don't know what it is a lot of times, but I can speculate. It seems like it's interdimensional technology to me, is what it feels like.
Yeah. So their sense of the technology is different than ours, right?
Much different.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say that they don't have a lot of hoo-has or gadgets like we do. And they do have technology, but it's very different from here. And some of it is more, there are devices, but it's more related to intention and energetic creation.
And obviously they don't need spaceships, right?
Well, I think they do, but are they? I don't know that they can just walk into another world. I think that they might need some sort of vehicle, but I don't know if these vehicles are like steel. I don't know if they're physical or not.
Yeah.
I think that they do have craft, because I think I've seen some of their crafts in what I've experienced, but I don't think it's like what they see or what some of the military is trying to create right now. Northrop Grumman doesn't seem like that at all.
Have you ever asked them, let's have dinner?
Oh, well, we kind of do. I mean, there's no food involved, but it's like, or after dinner chats, sometimes breakfast chats, all the time. Sure.
Yeah. So are the messages different now than they were in 2020 during the COVID period?
They are different, but it's everything in the N1 sessions. It's sort of like that's the foundation, and now they're building on it and reiterating and riffing on what they gave first. So it has been kind of like a progressive thing, which pleased me
What's the
to see
second
that.
book?
I don't know what it'll be called or what form it'll come in, but I'm compiling. Yeah, I'm collecting more things now. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna approach it differently. I want to let it build up more, and I want the chapters to be a bit longer. And we'll wait to see what the meat of it really is going to be. It'll be a different book, just different because it'll be a different focus. So it'll like the N1 sessions is the base. What's that?
The N1 is like your Seth.
I guess so. I mean, that was what an achievement. I mean, those books and her life. I mean, she was an amazing woman and such a talented medium and a talented writer. And she's one of the people you can really look up to. Yeah. She was not in the best of health towards the end of her life, though. And other channelers, I've heard other channelers talk who have met her say that they suspected that she wasn't. The energy was just taking her over, like the high frequency of it. That maybe she wasn't, and I don't have any proof of this or anything. I don't know this, but that maybe that she wasn't letting it go after the session's over.
Well, she had rheumatoid arthritis, so that
that kind of, and I think she died of cancer, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. No,
I could be wrong.
Yeah. She and Rob started out doing a Ouija board, and then we got messages, and then it became too tedious, and she was able to just speak right through, and then he took notes.
Yeah. That
just like you do.
Well, she was a Taurus. That's interesting. She was the thinnest Taurus that I've ever seen. I have a Taurus. I have a Taurus rising, so I had a Taurus, double Earth. But she's amazing. I think the Seth material is amazing, and it's just when you see her interviewed, just Jane, she seemed like she didn't have a lot of ego. She was a very sweet soul. It seemed.
Yeah, and she had classes in her house too.
Yeah. There's some footage of that. Yeah, that like these hippies surrounding her in her house.
One of those. That would have been great.
Yeah, that was the.
Isn't it great? Yeah. I was not born yet, but I was born shortly after that.
Well, now that's what you need to do, Chris. Have classes in your house, and we'll come be your students.
Well, yeah, I've thought about, or just like a ceremony, like doing these sessions, like special invited guests like you guys. Just a few people to be there. I would like that. I would feel supported by that. I think.
Or you could do it through Zoom. With
that's true.
Possibly.
Why not? Why not?
Right. Yeah. So. I don't want to be too invasive, but you have an unusual picture of this woman on your wall with her hands up by her face. Can you explain that?
Yeah. That's Sinead O'Connor, actually. And it was a picture that was sort of like a reverse negative or whatever, but we did we had a benefit for my theater collective that was all Sinead O'Connor songs. This was right before she died. Actually, so that's a poster. All the musicians signed it. Yeah.
Well, nice. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And the other picture looks kind of like 19th century, like.
That's Lola Montez, who was she was an early vaudevillian almost. She was an Irish girl, but she did this Spanish dancer act, and she was sort of racy. And we made a theater piece about her. So it was called The Ghost of it was called it involved vaudeville spooks too, vaudeville ghosts. Yeah. It was called The Ghost of Lola Montez. So we might remount that someday.
So in your theater, have you ever thought about doing some performance related to alien contact?
Well, I want to make a kids show, a kids children's theater show of flying saucer visions. It would be like a multimedia thing. I think that would be really fun. That's on my do list for sure. Yeah, I definitely want to do that. I also want to make an audio book of the N1 sessions. That's something that
That'd be great.
I'd like to do so that people could listen in their cars, whether they're traveling or whatnot.
So let me tell you, as we're nearing toward the end now, just about Trish and my experience with this field. One of the most dramatic things was near the point when we met. I decided one day, why don't we try a Ouija board? Okay.
Ooh.
Just like Jane and Rob. So what comes through is this being supposedly up above on a craft. And so I'm working as a newspaper reporter at the time.
I'm a teacher.
Yeah. And so, very skeptical. I said, okay, let's have some proof. And they say, okay, we'll go to the airport and you'll see us there tonight. And so, I had to be at work at 8:00. I had this meeting I had to go to cover, but 1:00 in the morning, we're there.
Fort Lauderdale
Fort Lauderdale Airport. And it was at a time.
My gosh.
Yeah, it was at a time you could drive up to the fence and just park and watch the airplanes take off. So that's what we were doing, but looking for a spaceship. No spaceship, So
you
didn't
see it? Yeah, so wait, the story gets better.
Yeah, the story gets better. So nothing happened. Kind of disappointed. I had, I was really tired the next morning. It was a school board meeting. I had to get out some copy by 10:30, and then I rushed back to the office. And then the editor wanted me to follow it up with more detail with a follow up for we had a morning and an evening issue newspapers at that time, and so I was writing on that, just finishing as the writer on the desk next to me was just finishing her story. And I looked over and said, what were you working on? So busy there. And she said, the Hollywood, Florida police said there was a UFO over Perry Airport last night.
We went to the wrong airport.
That's very close to where I was working.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was a mind blower. Then the story was on the bottom of the front page of the paper, about the UFO above the airport. So you connected via Ouija board with these beings as they were, and I think that's kind of what happened to me too. That when I got that experience of going up like that in the space, I think they were visiting, Yeah. So there's one more aspect to this story. That night, Trish, I told Trish about what happened at work. So we let's go to Perry Airport and see if they come back for us, since we screwed up, went to the wrong airport. So we go there, and it's a small airport. It's totally dark. There's no lights on at all. The airport is closed, and we stand around there a little bit. Nothing's gonna happen here. It appeared. So we have separate cars at the time, and we had just met each other, and I lived in Hollywood. She lived in Fort Lauderdale, and started going back. And I turn on the radio. What comes on but an old-fashioned radio drama, and one of the characters is an alien. I mean, how could that be?
That's a great synchronicity.
It's like they were giving you a sign or something.
Yeah, I know, but not nothing that we could physically see, but so many different ways. So that's our story.
I really like that. It's like they can work physically. They can work in other ways too. I think that's excellent.
Yeah. Well, thank you for much Chris, for coming. It was great having you.
Feel free to come back. especially if
yeah.
the government starts bothering you.
Well,
after the book
I'm
is
gonna,
published.
I'm gonna, and I'm, cause everything. If anything, if they come knocking on my door, I'm gonna come to you, and with a plea for help, and you can broadcast it, and then they'll come get you too. So
Right,
we
yeah.
can,
Oh,
we'll be in Guantanamo Bay together.
well, let's hope
Hopefully
it's
not. Hopefully
So-
not.
Yeah, so you have another book that you're working on now, then, right?
I have a few things. I'm definitely several things I'm working on. This one is released February 10th, the N1 sessions.
Right.
You can order it on Amazon or anywhere books are really sold. And but I've got hopefully there'll be another book connected with this. I'm working on many other things too. You can go to berrymanbooks.com and
that was my next. Where can people find you?
Yeah. You can go to berrymanbooks.com and I'll post updates about anything that's happening.
Okay, well, we'll send you the link whenever this comes out, right, John?
Okay.
We will. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. Thanks again for having me.
fun.
Yeah.
You
Best of luck.
Okay.
have a good night.
Take care.
Thanks for joining the Mystical Underground. Visit www.themysticalunderground.com for the latest blog post and book info. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Listen to the podcast at podcast.themysticalunderground.com. Follow Trish and Rob on Instagram at Trish and Rob McGregor. Follow us on Twitter at The Mystic Cast. Send email to podcast@themysticalunderground.com. And until next week, thank you for listening and stay mystical.